yourself at 3132 Silverton Road Northeast. The hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 1490 KBZY. We are at exactly 8:14 here. Derek Queen back with us for another visit representing Senior Helpers right down the hall from us here at KBZY. Good to have you back in studio.
It's good to be back. Thank you for having me.
All right, maybe for those that haven't caught our reports over the past couple of weeks or so, you want to give a little update as far as what Senior Helpers is all about?
Sure. Senior Helpers is an in-home care agency. We provide in-home care to keep your seniors safe and happy and healthy and get their needs met safely and consistently every day. And then I brought a friend here today. I have Karen from Willamette Valley Hospice.
Hey, thanks for having me, Bob.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And Senior Helpers works alongside Willamette Valley Hospice on a lot of different cases. But I'm excited to tell you guys about the class that Karen and I are going to be teaching down at Center 50 Plus.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. It's going to be later this month. It's October 21st at 2 p.m. And it's going to be called Caregiver Nirvana. It's about coping mechanisms to make sure that you can be the best caregiver you can without losing yourself in the process. So if people want to sign up for that, they can call Center 50 Plus at 503-588-6303. And I'll leave information for Bob so that people want to call the radio station, they can and get that info. So.
And this is kind of designed for family members that are the primary caregiver?
Yes, absolutely it is. So what we're finding in hospice is that families, when they get in a situation like this, don't have enough resources to draw on, and they get into really stressful situations. So we're trying to help them kind of front load their resources so that they have those in preparation for what's coming next.
What kind of resources?
So Center 50 Plus has a respite program themselves, but then what we're going to talk about is coping mechanisms for them as far as having teams available to them, having a team for their loved one, but also having a team for themselves so that caregivers don't have this burnout, because what we're seeing is a lot of families will say, oh, well, I'm going to come and help you in the morning, Mom, and I'm going to help you in the afternoon for an hour. But what we're needing is more time so that people can actually get a real break.
Right, and when you do bring in other family members, you have to assess how the client feels about that, because now you're not getting quality time, you're hurrying through to finish the task. So it's no longer, hey, Dad, what did you think about the game last night? It's more, I have to get the shower so that I can take my kids to soccer practice and then come back and fix you dinner so that Mom can have a break. And now there's no more quality time between father-daughter, father-son, husband-wife. So you do have to assess the risk on how that feels to the client or the patient or your loved one, and also assess the guilt that the wife, the daughter, the son, the husband might be feeling too. It's okay to ask for help. You never want to have that burden of care on just one singular person or even family members, because they lose that family time.
Not only that, there's lots of risk involved with a caregiver becoming the sole caregiver. What we're discovering in studies across the nation is that when spouses are becoming caregivers for their loved one, it's increasing their mortality rate significantly. And that's not something that people think about when they're thinking about taking care of their husband or their wife, but it's a real risk factor.
Right. Usually the primary caregiver suffers way worse than the actual person they're providing care for. So we do hope to validate all those family caregivers, but then we also want to give them an open forum to discuss some of the issues, because by sharing that information, you can see that you're not the only one going through, so that guilt is suffered less. We can't do it all.
Yeah.
So.
What are some other kind of highlights from that class? If you want to kind of set up listeners who might be thinking about attending, what are some other key things that will be brought out?
Well, the first thing we hope to do is validate them, tell them what a great job that they're doing, but also provide them education, encourage them to bring in other resources, take time away. You have to take time for yourself to reset. That way you don't suffer alongside your loved one. We can hopefully get them talking about some of the equipment that they're working on, that they're working with, and educate them in that manner, and then kind of tell them how their illnesses will progress. It's not a steady decline. It's more of a stair-step model that Karen and I
Correct.
were talking about earlier this morning.
I think a lot of us think that we're going to die in our sleep or in a car wreck, something really quick. But what we find is that only 10 or 15% of us are actually going to die that way. Most of us are going to pass in some sort of stair-step manner where we get diabetes first, or we get heart disease first, and then it's sort of we hit a baseline, but it's not the baseline we were at before, and then we kind of keep going until our bodies just kind of break down and betray us. So that's how most of us actually will pass in this lifetime. So 85 to 95 to 90% of us will pass that way. So it's a way of pre-planning, and a lot of us don't think about that because, I mean, come on, hospice is a downer. Sometimes we just don't want to think about how we're going to exit this life, but all of us have a limited time on this planet. So it is something that we need to kind of at least start cogitating on right now so that we can start thinking of a plan and start kind of putting some things in place.
Now, is this going to be a one-time only class, or what?
This particular class is going to be one time only. At that class, we're also going to talk about another presentation that Willamette Valley Hospice has coming up called Untangling the Challenges of Aging, and that will be on November 9th. That will be a half-day seminar. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more, and I'll leave some information with you about that too, Bob, so that we can get that out into the community.
Very good. All right. Anything else about that class and that you'd like listeners to be aware of?
No, we just want to make sure that they have a chance to come and sign up. If they are interested, again, the number to give them a call is 503-588-6303. And Leela Weeks is the one that is coordinating those sign-ups. But you can call and talk to any volunteer there. So.
All right. And then
Thank
that
you.
class it's a week from Monday on October 21st.
Yes, called Caregiver Nirvana.
Mm-hmm. And is there any limit on the ages of those that would attend, or open
not at
open to all?
It's open to all. We want everyone who is feeling kind of overwhelmed and feeling like they need to get some resources in place to feel free to come. It's a absolutely free class.
And it's full of wonderful information, and it'll tell you all the resources available for respite.
Absolutely.
All right. Dara, thanks for coming by again.
Hey, no problem. And again, to reach Senior Helpers, www.seniorhelpers.com or 503-990-7112.